And I'm back. Thank you again for tuning in for WLBT Plus. My name is Cara Shirley. I'm your digital news desk host. Had some technical difficulties a second ago, but I am back, and I hope that you can hear me now. Couldn't hear me a second ago. I hope that you can hear me now. Say it again if you are watching on our website or WLBT.com. That is our website or our news app, WLBT News app. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching on social, hi, you can hear me. Thank you so much, Sheila. But if you're watching on our social streams, whether it be YouTube or Facebook, we do appreciate you tuning in. And make sure you leave your comments, thoughts, suggestions, questions, anything like that in the comment section. I do enjoy getting to interact with you guys. Sheila is here. She was here to say here a second ago and told me there's no sound, but you can hear me now. Thank you. That's good for you if you enjoy hearing me. Let's see. Sheila saying, good afternoon. Looks like the rain is coming in. Clouds are darkening. And you know what, Sheila? That is a great comment because it leads me right into what I want to show you, which is taking a look out over downtown Jackson right now. So you can see, yeah, we do have some clouds out there in the sky, but we do have some blue as well. Looks like they're plating something on the Capitol lawn down there too. Not sure exactly what's going on down there, but oh, and you can't see it because of the way the camera cuts. I apologize for that. Yeah, so it is a cloudy day out there. However, we don't have a very high chance of rain in the forecast. It's going to very low, maybe some spotty showers. We're going to look at the forecast in just a little bit. And of course, our first alert weather team will be in here at 2:30 to give you a full in-depth look at your forecast, what you can expect over the weekend, over the next few days, into next week and all that stuff. It's supposed to be a really nice weekend. So be ready for that. Danielle saying, hey, y'all. Hello, Danielle. How are you doing today? Any of you tuning in, if you're watching, make sure, or not make sure, but will you please let me know where you're tuning in from? I always like to hear if we got people from Brandon or Madison, Jackson, Ridgeland, all over the place tuning in. We even have people tune in from California, Oregon, different places. So let me know where you are watching from. Danielle's doing peachy. I am too. As a matter of fact, I almost wore a shirt today that said just peachy, but I didn't. But it is a good day. It is a really good day. It's Friday, Friday the 13th. Even though it's Friday the 13th, we're not going to take that as a bad omen. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. Deborah tuning in from Crystal Springs. Hello, Deborah. Robin is watching in Pearl. And let's see, Loretta is in Bolton. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sheila's asking what's going on with JTran. Well, we don't have an update on JTran right now, but we do have an update on some other um, companies, employees, workers that are going on strike. I'm going to tell you about that in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump into the news, what we have right now. So yesterday, David Archie got a really big victory from Supreme Court, Mississippi Supreme Court. Now, David Archie is a former Hinds County supervisor, and he is still challenging the election from 2023. And in his challenge of the election, he scored a major victory. Justices overturned the Hinds County Circuit Court's decision to throw out David Archie's election challenge. So the Supreme Court of Mississippi reversed that decision. You may remember he lost to current supervisor Anthony Smith back in 2023 in the Democratic primary. So the Hinds County excuse me, let me get this back up right. I apologize. The Hinds County Circuit Court tossed out his challenge because they say that former supervisor. They say the former supervisor filed his appeal a day after the deadline. Well, Archie says that he couldn't file when he had to by the deadline because the circuit clerk's office was closed. Um, was closed. Oh, we hear him yelling there. But this says they were closed because of the September 2023 cyber attack that happened. Well, the Supreme Court ruled that it didn't have enough evidence to determine whether the clerk's office was open or was closed. And Circuit Clerk Zach Wallace says that Archie could have contacted him. His former opponent, Anthony Smith, says that Archie could have filed earlier that day. Well, the court is disagreeing with both of those claims. The court says that former supervisor Archie provided the office provided that the office was closed and that the circuit clerk admitted that the doors were locked to the public on that day. So now this case, his challenge is being handed back to the lower courts, and we're going to continue to follow it and see what happens with this challenge of the 2023 election for the Hinds County Circuit Court. It's Catherine Brown watching from San Diego. Thank you so much for tuning in, Catherine. I hope you're having a great day. We have Amy Jones is watching from McGee. Hello, Amy. Thank you for tuning in. And Carol is in Flowood. You guys all over the place, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Well, we have a list of names that are running to fill the empty seat in the Jackson City Council, Ward 2, that was vacated by Angelique Lee. Of course, we've been following and telling you about what happened with Angelique Lee and her oh Lord, the word is leaving me, but where she left the seat and resigned. That's the word. I knew return. I was thinking returned, and I knew that wasn't correct. She resigned from that seat back a few weeks ago, and then actually ended up pleading guilty to some case charges at the federal courts. Well, there are now at least 6 people who are going to be running to fill that empty seat. As of September the 9th, the municipal clerk's office reported 6 candidates that have qualified to run in the October 1st special election. And those people are, we have Catherine Robinson, we have Marcus Cheatham, we also have Celestial M. Gordon Griffin. We have Brian Mose, Tina Clay, and Cheryl Matori. So those are the 6 names that we have right now. And we're going to be following that election on the 1st of October, see who wins to fill that seat. The reason why they have to go ahead and refill the seat is because there was a more than 6 months left in that term. And according to Mississippi law, when there is more than 6 months left in a term, a special election must be held to fill that seat. So that is why we are doing the election, and we're going to be following it. If you're in Ward 2 here in Jackson, that election is on October 1st. So make sure you find out about your candidates and you go vote on October 1st for this. Sheila is asking, wow, is that more than the normal amount of people who run? And she gave me a clue on what I was trying to say. Thank you so much, Sheila. I appreciate that. Is it more than a normal amount of people that run? I don't know that for sure, but what I can tell you is the steps to qualify for this are a little bit different. So in order for a candidate to qualify to run in this special election, they had to have basically a list of at least 50 people who recommended them, supported them in this seat. And then by turning that in, and I'm sure there's some other little small things that have to go along with qualification process, but by turning that in, they could then qualify to run for Ward 2. So we're going to be following it. I'm not for sure if it's still open to receive more candidates to qualify, but we will definitely be following this election on the 1st of October. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in and asking those questions. Now, we're going to go over to Hinds County. We talked to Hinds County Sheriff Tyree Jones, and we spoke with him. And my computer, it's the 13th for sure, y'all, because I am having all kinds of bugs and mess ups happen. The show must go on, right? So we talked with a Hinds County Sheriff Tyree Jones recently, and he provided an update on the county's new work release program. So the goal is to give detainees an opportunity to save money, pay fines, and re-enter society. So wages are going to be divided with 40% going to saving 15% to debt, 25% to fines and fees, and the last 20% to county administrative costs. So these the those who are on the work release program will be able to get that money, and that's how it's going to be divided out. So the Board of Supervisors last month entered into a memorandum of understanding with Second Strides Workforce Solutions to create this work release program for Hinds County detainees. Hinds County Sheriff Tyree Jones says they have already have found multiple employers for this program in Hinds County, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. A Workforce Solutions, along with the Hinds County Sheriff's Office, will determine eligibility, but they did make it clear only low-level or non-violent offenders are going to be able to have this opportunity. Sheriff Jones did explain why this not only will benefit those in the program, but also the community.
There are many talented individuals that are in the jail today. And if we can identify these individuals and give them something positive to do outside of the jail while also being able to benefit the community, our local employers here within Hinds County, then we are doing something positive.
So pay could reach up to $15 an hour for some detainees, and each inmate will have to wear an ankle monitor to their job. For this program, Sheriff Jones hopes to have determined those eligible set up with their new jobs and in the workforce between October 1st and October the 15th. We'll continue to watch and see and hope that this is a very successful program to help those that are in jail right now to be successful and good contributing citizens once they leave incarceration. So we'll continue to follow this. Sheila here asking some more questions. Got a lot of questions. I love it. So Sheila saying, what's going on with the art event display, such as the Thalia Mara Hall, etc.? I know with the Thalia Mara Hall, we're not really sure where things stand with it right now. We have gotten some updates. We know that there are some disagreements on whether or not the improvements and the work that needed to be done there was actually submitted. We are looking into everything, and we're going to bring you the latest updates as we have them, and we have them confirmed here at Wlbt. And when will the planetarium be finished? The planetarium is I believe it's going to be done next year, maybe the year after. And that's just, I'm relying on my memory there from a story that we did a little while back about the planetarium, but they are working on it. We have the Mike magazine here. Hi, how are you? Hope you're having a great Friday. Well, let's talk about the what's going on over in Gluckstadt. And the citizens of Gluckstadt have had some criticism of the police department, especially on and social media. So the Gluckstadt's mayor, Walter Morrison, addressed the criticism to the city's police department on social media. And this criticism has really been about the amount of speeding tickets that are being written to those that are traveling through the Gluckstadt community. Despite complaints, though, Mayor Morrison stated that he's not going to instruct the Gluckstadt Police Department to stop writing tickets or even to lower the amount of tickets they write. He emphasized that the enforcement of rules and laws is crucial for public safety, hoping to prevent fatal accidents by, having people slow down, stop speeding. So the chief, Barry Hale, emphasized that the tickets are intended to ensure driver safety and not to generate revenue. The police department's efforts primarily focus on curbing speeding, a long-standing concern for residents there. And their goal is to make Gluckstadt the safest city in Mississippi by enforcing traffic regulations. So on record, we have in the month before the September 10th board meeting, Chief Hill reported that the department issued 342 tickets. Comparatively, Ridgeland Police Department issued 479, while the city of Byram issued 233 in the same period. So one thing that this made me think about, where I'm from, over in Meridian, we have a little town right next to us, butts up against city limits, and it's the town of Marion. And I always remember growing up being told, don't speed in Marion. Marion police officers don't play. They will write a ticket. And maybe Gluckstadt is just this same kind of place, you don't speed there. They don't play. You're going to get a speeding ticket. And maybe that should be the way it is everywhere. Speeding is wrong. I'm not going to say that I'm innocent of doing that at all. I'm sure all of us are guilty from time to time of pushing the pedal a little too close to the floor. But, if you do the crime, you got to pay the fine or whatever it may be. So maybe that's just what you're going to have to look at with Gluckstadt. Maybe they just don't play. And maybe they shouldn't. They shouldn't have to play. But they wanted to make sure that people understood that this is not about bringing in revenue. The tickets aren't about bringing in revenue. They're about ensuring the safety of the citizens of Gluckstadt and those that travel through there. So just understand they're not going to stop writing tickets. So if you drive through Gluckstadt, follow the speed limits. Now, let's go over to Vicksburg, where there was a threat made against a school there, but the officials over there are saying that there is no threat to to the children's safety in the schools, despite the rumors. So officials with the Vicksburg and Warren School District say that there's no evidence supporting rumors of a potential social media post concerning one of their schools. So on Thursday, the district said that it received information regarding a potential threat against Warren Central Junior High School. After investigating the matter, the administration determined that there was no evidence supporting these rumors. And they did say that they appreciate the vigilance of students, staff, and parents in reporting unusual or potentially unsafe situations. And they are proud of the students for openly communicating with us when there are concerns. That is a great thing that the students felt that they could bring concerns forward. Officials asked parents and guardians to sit down and talk with kids about the seriousness of making threats of violence against schools or other students. So whether these threats are verbal, nonverbal, or made on social media, we take every report and potential threat very seriously. And they thanked everybody for the support and assistance in keeping the school safe. The details of the threat were not made public. But this is a great opportunity for parents to sit down with kids and with students, and even some other adults maybe need to listen to this, because if you remember over in Lauderdale County last week, there was a former teacher who was arrested for making threats against the school there. With in this day and age, you can't do that. You can't play with words, because somebody out there is going to take something seriously, and they should not. So I hope that makes sense to you. But yeah, sit down with the kids, sit down with people and talk to them that, you can't just put words or statements out there and they be a threat against someone and not expect those threats to be taken seriously and to get quote unquote punished for making those threats. You just can't do that. Thankfully, there was no basis in these threats, and it did not cause students to be out of school for an extended amount of time, or thankfully the reports were just rumors and that it wasn't actually an actual threat against the school that someone acted upon. So you just got to be careful. Got to be careful. Gosh, a great comment. Play with words in art, poetry, and stories that you write. That is so true. So true. That's where you play with the words, but not when you are talking about a school. So we heard yesterday via social media that one Jackson restaurant is actually going to be moving to the suburbs. So Lou's Self-Serve posted on Facebook that it is closing its Bellhaven location and merging with its existing restaurant that is in it is my computer is messing up. I'm telling you guys, but is merging with its existing restaurant that is over in Ridgeland. So Lou's Full Serve has been in Jackson for a decade, and the post cited what it described as obstacles at the Jackson location that have been difficult to overcome. So now they're going to convert Lou's Southern Sandwich Company, which is on Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland, to Lou's Full Serve. The Bellhaven location is set to close on September the 28th. Being new here to the Jackson area, I have not yet tried this place, but I'm definitely going to have to. Maybe before they leave or when they're all over in the combined location, because it's not a new location, but it's their combined location over in Ridgeland. So Coming back here into our area, the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence held its 75th annual Night of Honor last night. And this is to recognize the work of those who help others overcome addiction or the grief of losing a family member to substance abuse. So last night's focus was on the opioid epidemic and ways to save more lives. NCADD Executive Director Ashley Smith says that their mission is to provide information, raise awareness, and provide assistance. Last night's speaker, Barry Mayer, first highlighted the opioid crisis and the secrets of companies that made huge profits. His book, Painkiller, was the basis for a recent Netflix series, which I've seen that series. It is awesome. He says states, including Mississippi, have won millions of dollars in lawsuits, and he hopes that the money that has been won is used in productive ways.
We really have to sit back and think, how are we going to spend this money? How are we going to use it wisely? Because, you know, when there is this kind of pots of money available, every Tom, Dick, and Harriet is going to come by and try to stick their hands in it.
Our primary goal is to prevent. And so we want to make sure that we educate families on the tools and resources that are in place to assist them when it comes to.
So Meyer's book was released in 2003 and it was picked up by Netflix last year. So one thing that we have noticed a trend on here at Wlbt, and we spoke with Jackson Police Department on it, is the rise in domestic violence cases. In the past 2 weeks, Jackson police have responded to at least 3 domestic violence cases. So officers are currently still searching for this individual here on the screen. His name is Ronaldo Resendez Mendoza. Witnesses say that he shot his sister, 30-year-old Susanna Resendez. Now that happened Monday at the Oyo Townhouse Inn and Suites. That was loud. The Oyo Inn Townhouse Inn and Suites on Beasley Road. Witnesses told investigators that this was the result of an ongoing family dispute. Then there was a deadly stabbing that happened yesterday on West McDowell Road between 2 people who were said to be in relationship. And we did speak with Detective Tommy Brown of Jackson Police Department regarding this.
We're seeing everybody grab a gun. People are grabbing guns, they're grabbing knives, and or whatever they can get their hand on, and they're going after it. And and so the numbers are increasing.
In another domestic violence case, 42-year-old Jerry Banks has been arrested for the September 4th beating death of his mother, 63-year-old Louise Banks Thorns. One thing that that the chief of police for Jackson, Chief Wade, has said multiple times is a lot of the crime, a lot of the incidents that happen are between people who know each other, whether it be a domestic violence type of thing or a domestic dispute type of thing between people who are related, married, in relationships, things like that. But he says a lot of the times the crimes are from family members, from acquaintances, from friends, from people who get into arguments and don't know how to properly either diffuse it or to properly work through a disagreement. So that has been as one of the things that makes a Jackson crime rate so high is the rate of incidents that happen between people who are related or friends or things like that. It is a very disturbing thing to see, especially when you hear about, for instance, in the case of Jerry Banks, where he allegedly beat his mother to death, 63-year-old Louise Banks Thorns. Very disturbing situation, disturbing thing to see rise. So hopefully this is a trend that we can change. We need to understand there's better ways than violence to handle disagreements, better ways than to use a gun or to use even your fist or anything like that. There's so many better ways. And a lot of times that better thing is to just walk away. Sometimes you just got to walk away. But hopefully this is not a trend that continues to rise here in Jackson. So let's go to let's take a look at our weather real quick. Weather, it's going to be a good weekend, and that could be something nice to look forward to. So let's look at that. Right now, our current temperatures here in the capital city, we're looking at 79 here in Jackson, 80 in Hazelhurst. Let's see, the warmest place on the map right now is in Macomb, looking at 82, Monticello as well. So we're looking high 80s, no, sorry, high 70s, low 80s. Really great temperatures out there. Our radar right now, even though we got some clouds in the sky, some cloud coverage, we are not expecting any rain, or at least we don't have any rain showing up in our forecast, our radar right now. We look over the next 12 hours, what we can expect here. Look at that, no rain chances. So we got some clouds in the sky, but not expecting any rain. We are expected to drop down into the low 70s in our overnight hours. And over the next 7 days, you can see we've got really nice temperatures happening. We are creeping back up closer to 90 towards the end of next week, but really pleasant temperatures, pleasant overnight temperatures, some rain chances, not too big of washouts, but looking like it's going to be a really great weekend. So make sure if you have a chance to get outside and enjoy that, get some vitamin D, enjoy some time outside with your family, maybe go for a walk on the trace or at one of the parks around here. Go enjoy the temperatures, nice temperatures before, the false fall is over and those really hot temperatures come back for a little bit. For just a little bit. Fall is coming, though. It definitely is coming, and I'm looking forward to it. So Mississippi Republican House Speaker Jason White is inviting you to conversations, to join conversations, rather, about tax reform. A select committee is already collecting information ahead of next year's legislative session. And Speaker White is hosting a tax reform summit on September the 24th at the Sheraton over in Flowood. So he believes having discussions before the looming deadlines and the chaos of the session could help lower the temperature on issues that have a history of being contentious. He says that he would support any package that includes cutting the sales tax on groceries. I love that. While also moving to a full elimination of the state income tax. Let's hear from him.
There is a simple rule that we're trying to follow, which is this: if you want more of something, tax it less. And so we're trying to remove what some call the penalty on work by taxing your work, your hard-earned income. We want you to keep it all. And we think you know best what to do with your money.
So the governor has long supported eliminating the state income tax, and the lieutenant governor has expressed a desire to prioritize cutting the tax on groceries. Speaker White wants to bring ideas together and find common ground before legislature reconvenes in January. Looking here at the comments in Mike Magazine asking, where is CJ LeMaster? CJ is investigating today. Actually, I'm not sure where CJ is. I think he is here. I just haven't seen him. I'm not hiding him. I'm not hiding him in the investigation booth. No. CJ is free to roam about the building as he desires. Sheila is saying she likes his thought process. So he's talking about the representative that we just showed. I agree with that. And pumpkin spice. Don't hate me, but I'm not a fan of pumpkin spice. I'm not a fan of it all. Tacos, I can get behind. Pumpkin spice, maybe I can do without it. Apple cinnamon, though, I'm good with that. I can handle that. So that's, to me, fall is apple cinnamon stuff. But apparently, obviously, with all the pumpkin spice stuff, everybody else loves pumpkin spice. So we've been talking about the J-Trans strike. We don't really have any updates on it right now. There's not been a change in anything. They are still striking currently. But we have some other companies that are striking in addition to that. We told you about AT&T striking. You knew about that, but now their strike is actually expanding to different parts of the country. So 17,000 workers in the Southeast were striking in places like Madison County, but now CWA's executive board authorized a strike against AT&T West. This came after 8,000 workers there rejected a tentative agreement for a new contract with AT&T. Southeast these workers have been on strike for nearly a month now. And then some other people that are joining their right to strike, if you would like to call it that, is Boeing. So Boeing workers are now on strike. They went on strike overnight. About 33,000 Boeing workers, actually, after union members overwhelmingly voted down a proposed contract and authorized the walkout overnight. The strike affects workers at facilities in multiple states, and the rejected contract included a 25% raise spread over the period of 4 years. Boeing saying that that would have been its largest ever general wage increase, but many workers saying that that increase is not enough. Some say that they're upset the union negotiators settled for less than the actual 40% that they had wanted. The Boeing strike could affect the U.S. economy, but analysts say it's unlikely to impact travel, consumer travel. But we're going to continue to watch that. And if the people with AT&T or Boeing or anybody else is not happy with that, well, there is a grocery chain that is increasing their minimum pay, their starting pay rather, and that is Aldi. So Aldi is raising its employees' starting pay. Company says the new starting wage will be $18 an hour for store workers, $23 for warehouse workers, and employees who work at least 30 hours a week are also going to have access to health insurance and paid time off, which is always a plus. Aldi is in the midst of a hiring surge amid continued growth, especially after buying out Winn-Dixie. It's looking to hire more than 13,000 employees as it prepares for the holiday season. So we have Aldi over in Flowood. I believe they're supposed to be building a new one by the Costco over in the Ridgeland area. I don't think there's another Aldi around here, though. I know in Meridian, I say we as if I'm still there. I'm not there. I know in Meridian, they had recently had an Aldi put in within the past 2 or 3 years. And then we had the Winn-Dixie over there that got bought out by Aldi. So, but if you're looking for a job that pays well, Aldi might be the place to go, might be a place to go. I wonder if anybody else is going to be following their trend, raising what their minimum pay is for employees starting off. $18 an hour is nothing to be mad about. I know when I first started working, I got excited at $5.50 an hour. That's what I was paid at my first job. So yeah, to get the $18 an hour would have blown my little 17-year-old mind. That is for sure. Let's see. Sheila's saying, I wonder where Aldi came from, and they're popular in Texas and other states. I'm not sure where they started out, but I do enjoy shopping there. That is for sure. Zach is saying, good job to Aldi. And I agree with that, Zach. Good job to Aldi. Good job. Sheila said, never had an apple cinnamon drink, but you got to get you some apple cider, put a little cinnamon in it. It's amazing. It is amazing. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be the end of WLBT Plus on this Friday the 13th. That affected my computer and gave me some technical difficulties, but we made it through together. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Make sure you are back here Monday, and actually back here Monday starting at 9 a.m. because we are going to be covering the trial of Carly Gregg. That set to begin, unless something changes between now and then, is set to begin Monday at 9 o'clock. We're going to be following it from the start all the way through the finish. I'm going to be here with you here at WLBT Plus, and we're going to watch this trial, and we're going to find out what happened, and then we're going to see how Carly fares going before a jury. You know, she had a 40-year plea deal that was offered to her, and she rejected it. She is now looking at facing 2 life sentences, one for the murder of her mother, Ashley Smiley, one for the attempted murder of her stepfather, Heath Smiley, and then another one for tampering with evidence. Now, that charge, the tampering with evidence, only holds a 10-year sentence there, possible maximum 10-year sentence. But she could be facing 2 counts of life in prison. We're going to be following that trial starting at 9 o'clock Monday morning right here at WLBT Plus. Like I said, I'm going to be there with you all the way through it. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. Otherwise, make sure you're back here at 2:30 for the First Alert Weather Team as they give you a look at your forecast for the weekend and some into next week. And then tune into our newscast tonight. Download the First Alert Weather app so you can get those updated forecasts right for your pinpointed specific area. And then also make sure you download the WLBT News app so that you can get updates and notifications on breaking news as it comes into us here at WLBT. Y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you Monday morning. Bye.